Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. I wanted to finish up the week strong by going into some XRP analysis. I've actually found a new fractal that I wanted to share with you guys that's unfolding on the Bitcoin pair, and we're also going to be taking a look at the dollar pair to see what is happening with price with the most recent impulse that we saw. I'm going to update you guys with how my trading plan is doing when I longed XRP at 17.5 cents, and then we're going to keep you guys updated and in the loop on exactly where I think prices are going to be headed from here. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember, guys, I have the fastest growing and the best Discord community out there for cryptocurrency. This is one of the coolest Discords that you guys are ever going to find. We have over 10,000 members. There's so many people every single day talking, communicating, that you guys are actually going to be sharing information with and doing whatever you want to help get you guys on the path of profiting. Now, with that being said, in the Discord server, I also offer my more exclusive content like the video course and signals. So if you guys want to actually end up copying my portfolio or following my educational content, make sure that you stay all the way to the end of the video because I'm going to be taking some time to actually explain how you guys can sign up, the pros of doing so, and how we can get you guys going today. Alright guys, we got a lot of really exciting things to talk about with XRP. I'm super excited for this one for good reason. So without further ado, let's jump right in the video today. Alrighty, so here we are taking a look at XRP on the 3-day time frame. Now what I want to talk about first is just a couple things. Now first off, we're going to dive into my overall trading plan that I took with XRP because I wanted to talk about an update with this so that you guys were in the loop. Now, as you guys know, my original plan was to long at 20 cents, 19 cents, and 18 cents with a stop set at 17.5 cents. And then I perfectly got stopped out. But I updated you guys when I got stopped out of this, and I told you that I was going to re-long this because I was very confident that that was actually the low. And so I ended up doing that. I ended up longing right here at 17.5 cents. And we ended up getting this first little pump. And so I'm actually still holding my margin longs right now. I didn't go heavy leverage. I just used some low leverage longs because honestly, guys, low leverage longs at these levels, when you don't over leverage yourself, when you're not taking out huge, ridiculous position sizes, it really helps you to get set up with some really low risk trades that can have the potential to make you a significant amount of money on the upside. And one of the ways that I like to long is actually by taking extra Bitcoin that I have and using my Bitcoin to long altcoins, because I can use the Bitcoin as collateral and then I can still hold that Bitcoin, but I'm kind of hedging that investment by holding some of these alts. And so that's really what I'm doing with XRP right now. Now, what I liked about this setup was the fact that recently we had this short term, I guess you could call it like a falling wedge setup, whatever it is. We were contracting within this range and we ended up breaking out of it right here. And so what, in my opinion, what we're seeing right now is a potential retest of that range. Now, for support levels that I'm watching for right now, I would say that the lowest I want to see this thing go would be back down to about, 17, 18 cents, pretty close to that 18 cent mark. But realistically, I don't want to see it go any lower than, about 18.5 cents. That's going to be the first point where I want to see a reversal before then or near that point. The lowest of lows is once again going to be about 18 cents. But then right where we're at right now is actually a decent support zone. And we also have to remember that we do still have some support out in this range because this was our previous level. So the bottom of that level takes us to about here, which is about, 18 cents approximately. So this is probably our strongest level here. We do have to hold above this. And that's why, I had my stop loss set up below this, but I had it set a little bit too close because price just barely peaked below that. Sometimes it'll do that and just go stop hunting for you, whether it's wicks or whether it's just price laying down on that level. And so now that we're seeing this impulse, that is a short-term good sign, but we have to make sure that we're still holding above certain levels. And for me, those levels are going to be these two right here. So that is going to be about, approximately 18.5 cents close to 19 cents. Just around 19 cents to 18 cents, right around that range is really what I'm going to go with. We need to hold above those support levels. As long as we can do that, then in my opinion, this is a confirmed breakout. And so we're going to be expecting more upside. Now, one thing I wanted to get into now is actually a little bit of a fractal on the dollar pair, and then we're going to dive into the fractal on the Bitcoin pair. The Bitcoin pair is a little bit more important in my opinion, so make sure you guys wait to that. Now, this chart right here, this black one that I have, is actually a chart of Stellar Lumens. One of the creators of the early creators of XRP was actually the left and then created, I believe it was the CEO or some really high guy, Jed McCaleb, I believe is his name. He ended up leaving XRP and creating Stellar Lumens, and they've all pretty much been synchronistic in the way that they pump. They pump at the same time, they look pretty identical, and we can see that here. Now, up to this point, you know, there's been a very big correlation between XLM and XRP. It's pretty much followed the exact same chart, except we've started to deviate here, whereas XLM has started to outperform XRP. And what's really important here is the fact if we go and look at XLM today, XLM is actually breaking out of its major resistance. This was the major resistance where we've been getting rejected off of. This is basically 30 cents for XRP, and we broke out of that and flipped that level. So that's very, very important here. And with XRP, you know, we're following this same thing pretty closely. Now, our resistance, instead of it being right there, like it was in XLM, is right here, right? So XLM is breaking out of this level on its chart, whereas XRP is still lagging behind. It's still relatively low, right? Does this mean that it's more bearish? No, it definitely doesn't. It just means that XLM is leading, and that's always what's happened with XLM and XRP. XLM will lead the market cycle, and then XRP will kind of follow, right? And so that's been the case up to this point, and we're starting to see a little bit of a deviation here. They were very correlated up to this point, and now we're starting to see XLM leading. Now, since XLM actually broke out, and it made a higher high above this level, you know, that's a very good sign for XRP. And that's what I want to talk about here is the fact that, you know, if XLM is already showing the early signs of what I was expecting of XRP, and it tends to lead XRP and XRP follows XLM, that is a very bullish sign, and we need to be paying attention to that. Now, we have this descending resistance here. If we compare the XLM chart over XRP, we can see the XLM would have been breaking out of this. And this is interesting because whenever I would overlay the Bitcoin cycle over the XRP chart, and I'd share with you guys how, you know, we're just awaiting before we get another leg up higher, XRP is just lagging behind all of the pack right now. XRP is just making its first little impulse here that doesn't even look like an impulse, whereas a lot of the other coins are starting to go for it and breaking out of their resistance. That's not negative for XRP. XRP has always done this. We just have to remember that. That's why I've put XRP as one of my long-term investments, not all of it. I don't go all in on XRP, because by doing that, you sacrifice too much potential gains by the other markets moving, because XRP's always been the laggard. Why would you go all in on the laggard when you could invest in some of the other ones that have been leading, and then you can, you know, make some profits off those, take those profits and re-diversify into XRP? And it's just you're creating a pyramid. And when you create a pyramid, you know, that wealth just trickles down and it continues to build up the top. So place yourself at the top of that pyramid in that hierarchy. Now, this is really bullish, guys. What we're seeing here is a good sign, and it's what I'm expecting to find with XRP. It's really why the reason why I relonged this entry level here. That's what I'm going to watch for, guys. I believe that this bottom is in. We're going to hold support here, and then we're going to start seeing a nice breakout on the upside. Now, let's actually dive into the Bitcoin pair, because I wanted to share with you guys a fractal that is playing out. It's actually a fractal I've shared with you guys a lot in times past, and it's something I've talked a lot about on this channel because I've been watching it for, you know, over a year's period of time at this point. Now, what I've talked to you guys about in times past is how this fractal lines up with the Bitcoin pairs, especially, guys. With the Bitcoin pairs, oftentimes what the best performing Bitcoin pairs will do is they'll repeat the same big market cycles every Bitcoin cycle. When Bitcoin goes from peak low to peak high, in that market cycle, the altcoins on the Bitcoin pairs will actually do a market cycle. It doesn't look quite the same as Bitcoin, but this entire move, so to put it into perspective, so this entire cycle from here is a repeat of this one right here. They're just repeating the same cycle, right? So this and this are the same. This is just an exponentially bigger expansion pattern of that, right? If that makes sense. And I'll actually get into it right now and explain to you guys how it works. This is something that's really important because this is happening on Ethereum Bitcoin, this happens on Doge Bitcoin, this happens on XRP Bitcoin. There's a lot of other ones that it even happens on too if you go and really look for it. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Now I'm going to go through and analyze the fractal for you guys so that you can start to see just how correlated these are. So the way the cycle works is you get the top of the cycle, this is the cycle high, and you get two of these. So this is the first one, and then we crash, and then we make this A, B, C correction. And the A, B, C correction, the way it works is you get the first sell-off, you get the impulse, and then you get the second part of that sell-off. Now at the second part, that lower high, we get another rejection, and then this is where we fall to the accumulation or the cycle lows, right? And so we're going to label this one green. Now, when we're at this point, this is where we actually go up for our second attempt at a breakout, but this is a false breakout, and we ended up just bull trapping, and then we end up selling off for over a year period of time after that. And so this is our second high. This is a rejection here. And then we end up going throughout this long, slow, drawn out consolidation, more or less. And in this part, you know, you get a couple factors. You get this potential inverse head and shoulder that ends up forming here. This inverse head and shoulder looking thing, because it's not quite an inverse head and shoulder. It looks a little bit funky, right? But you get this little pattern here, and then you end up selling for a couple more impulses on the way down. So this one, we'll just kind of label. So these we won't even give them colors. But then you kind of go through this three-part equation at the end. And then this is really what takes us to our final capitulation. And then we start the new cycle, right? So we're going to take this pattern that I've just labeled over this chart, and we're going to compare it to what we're seeing today. Now, the way it starts is the same way. You get the cycle high, which first one came here. Now, I'm going to share with you guys how market cycles differ a little bit, how sometimes they aren't quite 100% the same, but how they're close enough that we can make the same comparisons. Now, this is the same thing. We get the cycle high, and then we sell off, and then we're looking for our A, B, C back down, or our first lower high in that cycle. And so we sell off, and then there's a couple ones in here. Now, for me, I'm going to be labeling it at this one down here, because this is what takes us to that final sell-off. And so no matter what way you really look at it, we kind of get the same sort of move. So this is our lower high here. And then we finally go down to our lowest point in the cycle. Now you guys got to remember that this one looks a little bit different, as far as this one looks more rounded, whereas this one's really sudden. And that's just because in the impulse in 2017, the altcoins were pumping much quicker than at the pace they were back in this day, right? So you got to understand that that's why there is a difference here, but there still is the same thing. Now, this is where we go for our second attempt at a breakout, but this is a bull trap, and we ended up topping out clear up at that same high. This one technically did break its all-time high, but it was so quick that it was just same as this one. You know, they both pumped at that same level and then were quickly rejected from. Now, this is what takes us to this next part, where we do start to get this little inverse head and shoulder looking thing that I was talking about. And it doesn't have to be a perfect example of one, but it's just an example that I'm sharing with you guys to show you how the fractal works. It's not even like I'm trying to trade this chart pattern. So don't confuse any of what I'm doing with that. Now, we can see here that we get the same pattern. We get this little inverse head and shoulder thing. This is kind of way at the midway point of this move. This is coming an attempt of this bull trap, the second bull trap that we saw up here, and it's kind of falling after that sell-off, right? So it's coming down right here. Now, this is what takes us to our last sell-off, and this is our three-part equation that I was telling you guys to pay attention for. Now, this is what is important to speculate, because we don't really know where we're at right now, but I have my own thesis that I want to share with you. So the first one, you know, takes us to the bottom over here. In my opinion, that was here. That was this move right here. And then we sell off, and then we get another lower high. What I envision that is this being here. And then we get our final sell-off down that way. And that, in my opinion, takes us to this point right here. And of course, these are a little bit more spread out, but if we actually look at the time between cycles, I bet it's actually really similar to where we don't have to make the same comparison where, oh my gosh, the chart doesn't look 100% the same. There's a little bit of a deviance, but guys, you got to understand that that's going to be the case anytime. But that's why we incorporate a couple different factors. So from the peak high to the point where we started impulsing was about, you know, 1,250 days approximately. In this one, I'm willing to bet it's a little bit less than that, but I bet it's close. 1,155 days. So just about 100 days shy of being equally as long as this one. So who knows, guys? Maybe we still get a little bit of a bleed here inside of XRP that takes us all the way down to here. You know, one more final low that takes us to this lowest point that we saw in 2017, which would be 12,000 Satoshis, I believe. What if we get one more little sell-off? And then that takes us over to that amount of time that way. You know, that would put us a little bit closer in retrospect. That would only put us 25 days out. And, you know, that could be the point where we start to see the breakout. But either way, guys, it's close enough. 100 days isn't really that long in crypto terms. If you've been here around for the cycles like I have, I've been here since 2016, so back down in here. And so I've been able to see these cycles, and they're really long. And so 100 days really isn't that long in retrospect. And so I wanted to share with you guys this updated analysis. This is the video I had for you. You know, really good things are looking out for us, guys. I can't stress that enough realistically, because what we're seeing is just repeated cycles, repeated fractals of prior market cycles that are all converging at the same point, explaining and expressing that this is the bottom of the cryptocurrency market, especially XRP. You know, XRP is the only cryptocurrency that I'm currently holding in my long term that isn't in profit right now. And I've been very open and transparent about telling you guys that because, you know, that's just the way it's worked. But it doesn't change my bullish stance on XRP. I still really do like this as a long-term investment. And so for that, I'm going to continue to invest. I'm going to continue to average into those positions. And at this point, I've accumulated a lot of XRP. I've been very transparent about my trading plan with you guys, which, you know, before we wrap up this video, I want to actually explain how you guys that have waited this long, that want to hear about the video course and signals, how you guys can actually sign up for that. Now, if you want access to the video course and signals, you know, I always tell people when you get into the market, you're either going to pay the market fee or you're going to pay for knowledge to get you to get to the point where you're profitable. And for me, I went into the market just blindly following what I could learn off YouTube, what I could figure out on my own. And I lost like $50,000 before I ever figured out how to profitably do it. Now, obviously that wasn't one $50,000 loss all at once. It was just accumulated. I'd make a bunch of money and then I'd lose a bunch of money, and then I'd make a bunch of money and then I'd lose a bunch of money. And I never was able to consistently just profit and maintain that until, you know, I went through the bear market. I was able to educate myself on these things, which is why if you're somebody that's new getting into the space and you want to learn how to actually educate yourself with quality content and information to teach you guys all of the strategies that I actually use inside of my trading plan, you know, the video course is going to be the thing for you. It's 20 educational videos that are going to teach you guys all of my strategies. You know, you're going to go through some basic understandings of, you know, support and resistance, trend lines. You're going to go into Fibonacci. You're going to go into market cycles, market psychology. You're going to go into how to make a trading plan, risk management. All of these amazing things are going to be taught to you guys in here, and it's going to help you guys get profitable if you're wanting to actually do this on your own. Now, for the people that would rather just copy my portfolio, that's what the signals are for. Now, in my portfolio, what you guys are going to get right when you sign up for the signals is 80% of my portfolio is actually allocated to the long-term holdings. And so when you sign up for the signals, you're immediately going to get my allocation to 80% of my portfolio and what I'm holding long-term. Or what I'm doing is taking 20% of my portfolio that I have left over and using that for shorter swing trading, which you guys can actually follow because I post all of the trades inside of the Discord. So not only are you guys getting access to my long-term portfolio where I've been making a significant amount of money since 2019, but you guys are also going to be getting access to all of the short-term trades that I'm taking, which we've had a ton of winners in there as well. You know, a couple of them that I can name off the top of my head are Quant, you know, Engine Coin were others. Theta was another one that was a 3x pump. You know, we've had Solana in here. We just made the video yesterday with all three of those coins. Tomo Chain. We've had so many coins in there that are pumping. Every coin that we've bought has just been going up in value, which is why, guys, you really need to get access to one of these things or both if you want. You guys can either purchase them together or separate. It's whatever you guys want to do. And the way to actually do that is to click in the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord. You're also going to find my email address. You're also going to find my Facebook and all of those other things so that you guys can reach out to me on that front. Now, with that being said, once you guys have access, all you have to do is shoot me a message or shoot any of the 6 moderators a message on Discord, and we will be here to help you guys get started on the right path of profiting today. today. You know, there's tons of value to be made in these markets. We're just seeing the early stages of what is going to be a truly remarkable experience of profitability and life-changing wealth. And I'm truly grateful and blessed to have you guys a part of the team and community. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.